WA7YBS. Okay, yeah, the Shootout Roundup ART13 get-together is next Sunday, so you're still okay there, Dave. No problem. I have the Sama Fugitive set up and running. I used it last week, and so I'm all set with one anyway. So anyway, yeah, next Sunday will be the ART13 Roundup. And okay, Bill, yeah, you're number 3. And so let's see if there's anybody else out there. Number 4 is open. If you want to check into the Vintage Military Radio Net pre-net warm-up, you can do it now. Go ahead.
Well, W7MS, and good morning to you and all the folks on the frequency, and welcome back, Ron.
W6SSP.
Okay, there's Mike and Steve, W7MS in the number 4 spot. Good morning, Mike. And Steve, W6SSP in the number 5 spot. Go ahead and make a transmission there, Mike. Turn it to Steve. Steve, turn it back to me, WA7YBS. Go ahead, Mike.
Okay, well, we'll keep it short because I'm on my first cup of coffee, but on the GRC 106, not A. And over to Steve, W6SSP, W7MS.
Okay, Mike. Hey, good morning, everybody. Good conditions so far. Hey, we're getting a little bit of rain here right now. The wet stuff. Pretty cool. And Henry, thank you again for sending those springs and that clamp. Very, very helpful on that. And as a matter of fact, I'm downloading the instructions on how to repair a Cosmos PTO at this moment. So, fun and games. Back to Henry, WA7YBS, W6SSP.
Okay. And very good. W7MS, good on the GRC 106. And Steve, yeah, R390A stuff. And I'm still searching for a padded envelope. I had it all set there with those little anti-backlash springs. Those are so small, they can go in a regular envelope, but that clamp, better go in a padded envelope. But yeah, it'll be in the mail tomorrow, so you should have it, this week coming up. And you'll be busy with the Cosmos PTO. And hopefully you don't have one like I had a while back, a year or so ago, where somebody put, I guess they really thought that when they adjusted that inductive trimmer on there, set the endpoint, that was going to be it. They'd never have to do it again. And so they put super glue down that. Well, that really messed up that adjustment. It was never moving again. So that was the end of that Cosmos without, having another one for parts. But at any rate, so much for our 390As. Okay, let's do a quick rundown here. In number 1 spot's Ron, NU6F. In the number 2 spot is Dave, W6MQI. Number 3 spot's Bill, N6BCT. In the number 4 spot's Mike, W7MS. And in the number 5 spot is Steve, W6SSP. Is there anybody else out there that wants to check into the Vintage Military Radio Net pre-net warm-up and get on the list? Number 6 is open. Check in now.
This is W6 Alpha, Quebec, uniform in Montague.
W6OBE.
I don't know what Bob's running, but wow, what a signal. You're in the number 6 spot there, Bob, W6AQU, and Tom, WA6OP, is number 7. So, Bob, make a transmission and give us a hint at what you're running, because it's just a walloping signal. And then turn it over to Tom, WA6OP, and Tom, turn it back to me, WA7YBS. Go ahead there, Bob.
Well, very good, Henry. Well, I didn't know my signal was so powerful this morning. And I'm double checking here all the thingamajigs, and doodads. I just got in here. Had to get that little puppy dog outside. I am running a single 3 500Z. That's the tube that's displayed on Mike's t-shirt. And the antenna, I think, it's about 550 feet and it goes around in a big loop. So that's all I can say. Oh, the wattage, 200. How many I got coming back? Oh, 3 or 4 coming back. So that's all I have to say. I don't know what the temperature is. It's starting to get light outside. I know that. WA7YBS has the net control, but my instructions are to send it to WA60PE. That's a W6 Queen Uncle.
Okay, thank you, Bob. W6AQU, this is WA6OPE. In beautiful Richmond. We're still dark. And we have a little trace of rain this morning so far. So that's what's going on here. We are on the usual World War II U.S. Navy rig, TCM and RBC. And conditions so far, I just got in here as well. So I have only heard the net control station, who is super loud here, and AQU, who is super loud here. So back to net control, WA7YBS, WA6OPE.
Okay, very good. Yeah, both of you guys, Bob and Tom, both of you guys got very, very good signals, very powerful. So, yeah, maybe it's conditions. You never know. Let's see if there's anybody else out there, and if we pick up 1 or 2 more, we'll go ahead and get started. The official net time is 7:30, but you know how it is. We always are here a little bit early to get things going, do the pre-net warm-up, as we call it. So if you want to check in, get on the list, be number 8. Check in now.
W6JRY. Kilo Echo 6, Quebec, Kilo.
Okay. In number 8 spot's Jerry, W6JRY, and in the 9 spot is Rich, KE6QK. So Jerry, make a transmission and turn it to Rich, KE6QK. Rich, turn it back to me, WA7YBS. So go ahead there, Jerry.
Yeah, okay. Well, good morning to everybody. This is W6JRY. A little late start here. Just got down here. So I'll send it over there to Rich and let him move it along there. KE6QK in the group, W6JRY. W6JRY in the group. This is KE6QK and Fallon. Good morning to all. All the signals are around 9 and 20 over here, so good. Please pardon me. I managed to get a really nice head cold. Haven't been doing much ham radio for a week. Kind of gave it up. It's fall. We need to get the farm in order here. I have to pass along real quick. Henry, I saw John's video, AMI's video, and I couldn't put it down. That's just amazing, your jacket. I get so excited because I told you guys last time I used to operate that equipment that you guys have restored in 1967. It's just amazing. WA7YBS 6QK. Pick it up.
Okay, Rich. K6QK WA7YBS. Good signal from Jerry, pounding in here. And you're down a little bit there, Rich, from usual, but you're still S8, S9, and things will probably pick up some as we move along here. Ask one more time. See where Chuck is. K0DWC. I don't know, so we'll see. Number 10 is open. Vintage Military Radio Net pre-net warm-up check-in. If you want to be number 10, check in now. Okay, let's go ahead and get the net started. I'm on the big rig. And, if you want to see some guy in a red shirt with a lot of animation antics, there you can tune into the Wavelength Radio, their N9AMI video that John shot last Monday. It was a lot of fun, and of course you get to see the big rig, and we talk all about it, and of course we power it up, and all you really get to see is the meters move, but it's something. And so anyway, that's that. So I'm on the big rig, 300 watts, listening on the Raycal RA6117A antennas and inverted V, 130 feet, fed with open feed line, and the microphone is an Electro Voice EV664. Let me read the list, and then we'll start. 55 degrees. This one unusually warm. Just ahead of a front, obviously, but we were obviously pretty warm. So, number 1 is Ron, NU6F. Number 2 is Dave, W6MQI. Number 3 is Bill, N6BCT. Number 4 is Mike, W7MS. Number 5 is Steve, W6SSP. Number 6 is Bob, W6AQU. Number 7 is Tom, WA6OPE. Number 8 is Jerry, W6JRY. And number 9 is Rich, KE6QK. So we'll send it up there to round 1, Vintage Military Radio Net. You guys all know the drill, and you know what the net's about, so let's get started. Take it away, Ron. It's WA7YBS.
Okay, Henry. Well, we're back in the saddle again. The end of CU8/NU6F for 2023. Had a great time over there, lots of stories, but even some radio history stuff. Anyhow, good morning there to Dave, Bill, Mike, Steve, Bob, Tom, Jerry, and a new one to me, Rich. Probably been on while I've been away, but I quick checked over on QRZ to see you're also a Nevadaite and over there by Fallon. So good to meet you. And I've got the T3 this morning and the R390 along with the BC348, both switching back and forth. And the RAL and the TDE were just fine. I got the antennas back up the other day, and been working some DX on 40 meters with the TDE RAL pair. So I'm still set up on 40, so I just switched over to the T3 this morning. Anyhow, with that, take it away, Dave. W6MQI, NU6F.
NU6F, W6MQI. Hello. K0DWC. Sounding good. Everybody's sounding good this morning. Rich is a little on the light side here in Livermore, but I am copying him. And this morning we are on the T47 ART13, warming it up for next week, big event, and listening on the R390A. And it's, I don't know if I said it or not, it's 60 degrees, overcast, and no rain here. And yesterday I was opening season for duck season, so I was standing in knee-deep marsh water yesterday about this time. and didn't do too well this year. Only got 6 birds, so, but boy, it sounded like a war zone out there to the east of me. But, all big fun. Anyway, I guess it's over to Bill, N6BCT, W6MQI.
What goes on to the customer about this week? I don't know. We've got concerns about finding some documents that I haven't been able to do that online, which is a problem. And I've changed my credit card,
Okay, well, thanks, Bill. N6BCT and the Sunday morning military net W7MS, Mike in Reno. And good morning to all, and welcome back to the folks who have been missing, or the folk who has been missing in action. And good signals with the exception of Rich and Fallon there. He's just above, he's still Q5, but hopefully won't become Q6, but he's just treading the Q5 category, so something's different on Rich's end, I'm sure, this morning, but everybody's sounding great. And as I said earlier, running the GRC 106, I think this is the first time on this frequency with the rather unappealing aesthetic 636L dynamic microphone. It's the kind of a copy of some of its competitors' noise canceling, supposedly with a lip bridge, but it's got that totally disgusting logo that says world famous radio mic, aesthetic, in bright colors, which in my opinion classifies it as a CV microphone. I had attempted to remove that logo badge, but determined it would probably even make it look worse. But it was free. You can't beat free. A free microphone on the GRC 106. And Bob is doing great. And I think it's the power of the T-shirt though for the 3500Z. But yeah, exceptional propagation between Montague and my receive location. So with that, let's get the latest on the Cosmo PTO project from Steve, W6SSP, W7MS.
Okay, Mike. Well, good morning, everybody. Beautiful morning here. A little bit drizzle. Pretty cool. Actually, I'm going to call it rain right now. Coming down a little harder. Anyway, this is Steve, just north of Santa Rosa, using the usual Collins 32V1 and 75A1. About 6 feet up, and anyway, first of all, hey Ron, welcome home. Good to hear you again. And I wonder if anybody had any news from Pacifica. Maybe today. I'm not sure. If yesterday would be interested in any reports on how the problem was. The big news here, earlier in the week, I picked up a bargain R390A local lease. Turned out not to be such a bargain. I'll go into that more in the second round, but pretty interesting. The guy I got it from has a golden screwdriver and screwed this thing up in ways that I'd never encountered before. interesting thing is he got it from the very same estate floor that I got the 32V1 and 74A1 I'm using at the moment. So a little bit of history. Anyway, over to Bob, W6AQU, W6SSP.
All right. Well, good morning. I just changed locations, transmitter and receiver, and I had to run to get out here. This is W6 Able Queen Uncle on a T3, and warming it up here. Not up to full speed yet. So SST, you were loud and clear as I turned it on here this morning. I thought I'd have more time to get out here. So, comments, NU6F, back in the country. Well, hi golly, Ron, we missed you actually. Wondered about you. It sounds like you're healthy and wealthy and wiser from your little vacation over there. MQI, loud and clear. Okay on duck hunting. Well, didn't know there were any ducks down there. NBCT. I write it down, but I can't say it right. It's a tongue twister to me. Making it in from the hills of Half Moon Bay. MS, I gotta say you're loud and clear here. That's all there is to it. SST, loud and clear. Myself, I'm not woke up yet. OPE, you're blasting in here. Guess it's a path. And JRY. Outstanding audio again, Jerry. I don't know what you're doing or how you're doing it, but very brilliant audio. And Rich is in there. Rich, you're pretty weak this morning. Gotta be that cold getting you down. Okay, back to the top. WA7YBS. This is W6 Able Queen Uncle.
Now, let me jump in there, Bob. You're supposed to send it to Tom, WA6OB. And by the way, Chuck is in there, K0DWC. He'll be number 10, so Rich, KE6QK. You'll turn it to K0DWC, and of course, Chuck will turn it back to me. So, Tom, WA6OPE, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Henry. This is WA6OPE, Tom in Richmond. And yes, excellent conditions this morning. And I am copying everybody, although K6QK is on the slow side here. But for some weird reason, my noise level isn't as loud as it usually is. What's going on there? I have to chuckle. Seems weird. Anyway, everybody else, and good morning to Ron, and welcome back, Ron. Good to have you back. It must be a shock to leave a beautiful paradise on earth type thing. A beautiful looking island in the middle of the Atlantic and a tropical climate and no noise. And nice and green. And to come back to Reno and Nevada and the ground and oh boy. Talk about opposites. Anyway, glad you're back. And let's see here. Yeah, just everybody had good signals. Interesting. Quite a variety of stuff on here. A couple of T3s this morning. And anyway, so let's see. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh well, didn't write it down once again. So I will. Let's see. Good morning to Jerry, and haven't heard K0DWC yet, but we will soon. So Jerry, here it comes. W6KRY, WA6OPE.
Okay, Tom, very good. WA6OPE in the group W6KRY. Well, good morning to all. Good copy on everybody here. Bill is coming in a little better than normal for me here today, too. So copying him pretty good. And my noise is down today. It hasn't started up anyway. It seems like after the sun gets up and starts warming up, well, it kicks up. But so far so good. Anyway, it's about 62 degrees here at Forest Ranch. We're on the 32V3 transmitter, 75A4 receiver here today. Usual Delta loop antenna, D104 mic. It's a setup. Ron, very good morning to you. Well, I've seen you spotted many times through the summer and different times, but never on the right bands at the right time for me to hear you. You were always middle of the day on 40 meters here and things like that. But gosh, I was able to work numerous stations in and around you, Spain and a number of the different islands, the Canary Islands, so on. But never on the right band at the right time for me to pick you up there. And I noticed most of the stations you were working were East Coast and European stations. But anyway, you're sounding good on the TC68, as Bob is pounding in here on his. Henry's very strong on the big rig there. And Mike, the GRC 106. Just good signals all the way around. Chuck, I just copy you put in there too. Rich is down a little. I think maybe you might be on your DX100. I'm not sure there. So not a whole lot new here. Just been trying to clean out some different equipment here and so on. So I'll move it along and get it over there to you, Rich. See what you're running there today. KE6QK in the group, W6JRY.
W6JRY. Well, I have to apologize. Operator error here this morning. After the last successful net here, I got my neighbor to help me put the DX100 into the case. Looks very pretty here now. Really looks beautiful. But like a moron, I didn't retune it. Knocked everything out of tune, I guess. Didn't think anything about it. Come on the air this morning, I was probably running about 20 watts, I don't know. I flipped it on the dummy load, the water's dummy load here. Read out 100 watts output, so I should be better now. Sorry about that. I can't help it. Kind of senile, I guess. But it should be better now. And she tuned up really great on the dummy low. They switched her over to the long wire, so it should be better now. Yeah, it's the DX100B in 1964 Shure controlled magnetic microphone. And this is a temporary station receiving everybody on the brand new Icon 7300 as a receiver on a separate dipole. And the DX100 is on a PFW end-fed half-wave with a big toroid made in a box. It's very low, but it seems to work all right. You guys give me usually a good report on that low antenna. So it's a good temporary installation. I do have a cold that probably sound different. If I quit the carrier, I'm probably going to blow my nose or something. We have to get a cold every time the fall comes around and it gets cool. I haven't figured that out yet. Yeah, it's getting better. So anyway, give me a better signal for it. I think I'll just go around. And I'll turn it back up to you, Henry. And again, that video was just awesome that John made. I'm going to look at it again. It's fantastic. And I do in the future want to visit the locals show up on a weekend, give you a call. I'd love to do eyeballs with you guys. I can't drive to Santa Rosa, but around northern Nevada, I'd sure like to visit. WA7YDS on the group, KE6TK.
Yeah, okay, Rich. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, you're up. Your signal's up. Carrier's good. I think you could use a little more audio gain. I don't know if you have a modulation monitor or a scope or something like that, but carrier's good. I think you just need a little more audio. But you are better than you were. Well, sure, over to Chuck. I heard you break in there, Chuck, a little earlier, so you're still around. K0DWC, WA7YBS.
Yeah, Henry, good morning. I haven't heard everybody yet, but I had a little bit of a glitch here this morning, too. I mean, it's no big deal, but called the transmitter tuned, but for some reason the receiver wasn't on frequency. Well, I may have bumped it or something when I was in here working, but anyway, I got it back on again, and I'll just go ahead and go down the list as we start the second round. So anyway, well, good morning to everybody. I have heard Tom and Jerry and Rich, and I heard Ron's back, so welcome back, Ron. Good to have you back again. This is K0DWC in the back of the bus, and got a late check-in here. And we're on the TCS-13 this morning. I think I might have picked a good Sunday to run this, being that the conditions are so good. But we're running the TCS-13 with the T17 microphone and inverted V, and they're running about 120 watts per carrier, and running off of the remote. So anyway, that's the story here. And I'll be writing people down as I hear them. So back up to the top to Henry. I saw that video, and I agree with Rich. That was a pretty awesome video there. You guys did great. Henry, you did great with the presentation, and John did an excellent job with the video and all that. So hearty congratulations to both of you. So Henry, I'll start back up to you. WA7RBS, K0DWC.
Okay, Chuck. And yeah, thanks. That was a lot of fun doing that. Reminded me of the old days there at the museum when I used to get going on talking about something in the museum. And it was reminiscent of the museum on a good day, because there was a lot of days at the museum that weren't so good. But anyway, yeah, thanks. On the video, it was a lot of fun. We did that really fast. I think we were done in an hour and a half. So it was, and then John edited. He had it edited like probably in 2 hours or something. So yeah, it was like a really fast process on that. So anyway, appreciate N9AMI. That's old John, and Wavelength Radio there on YouTube, and it was a lot of fun. So let's see if there's anybody that wants to check in here. Vintage Military Radio Net, right at the tail end of round 1. We'll pick you up, get you in. Number 11's open. If you want to check in, do it now. Okay. One little project that I'll mention, because it is just the way things go. It has to do with the Toby Deutschmann receivers that I was restoring. Of course, there's a big article on the website about Toby Deutschmann receivers and Glenn Browning and all of those guys. And one of the receivers that I profiled was missing the original Tobii tertiary winding IF transformers. And so I used the IF transformers out of a junker SX28 because they look very similar, although the SX28 IFs don't have a tertiary winding in them. And of course I got all done, wrote it up, photographed it, got done all of that stuff. What do I see on eBay about a week after I get that all done? There's a parts chassis for a Browning 35, same receiver, and it's a real piece of junk. I mean, there's nothing left on this chassis except the IF transformers. They're the original tertiary winding IF transformers. So I bought a junk transformer or junk chassis off of eBay just for 2 parts, and believe me, everything else on there has been replaced with who knows what, but I did recognize the IF transformers. So that's my little story for restorations and how things kind of turn up after the fact, but that's okay because we don't mind going back and putting the right stuff in. So with that, let's go back to the top, round 2, over to Ron, NU6F. Go ahead there, Ron, WA7YBS, Vintage Military Radio Net.
Okay, good copy on all, and I wanted to say, Chuck, holy cow, your carrier, your signal is just about as strong as Henry's. It really does sound like you guys are next door one another. So, not sure if you've changed anything since I left. And let's see, speaking of changing anything, Tom, OPE, I'm wondering, I'm guessing by now you've got the tilt-over mast is up, so no more temporary antennas. And I'm guessing the new mast is good until the end of your life plus, considering how long the other one lasted there in Richmond. And also it was interesting to see, Jerry, I hardly heard any West Coast stations, any Western state stations. The farthest west I ever worked was a couple of Texas stations, but this year I was on almost all the time. I was on from 11 o'clock or 10 p.m. till 1 a.m. Local time there in the Azores, so that put me in the early afternoon, later afternoon here. But I just heard nothing hardly out this way, and for a change, I think it's the first time I'd worked out into a lot of Indonesia stations, Solomon Islands and whatnot, from at least from the Azores. I hadn't hardly worked that before, so conditions just seemed to be pretty good that way. And of course the other bands were better too. We had 17 meters and 10 meter openings, so it was all good. And you're right, Tom. To hook up the radio and see the S meter sitting at S2, S3, and then to come back here and see the S meter sitting at S8, far and away different. And it's a big change when you flying into Reno, and I looked, it was the last hour or so of the flight, and looking at it says, wow, how brown compared to everything all green and waterfalls everywhere. It was very, very exceptionally wet the last month. We got the little creek alongside the house. I had white water several times in that, 6 foot deep, just running by. I think the peak rain day was 2 weeks ago. We had 10 inches of rain in 11 hours. It was definitely raining. And Dave, okay on the duck hunting, too bad. I was thinking, No, it wasn't a bad day. Bad day is if you manage to catch somebody else's runaway buckshot. So you didn't get wounded, and you got a couple of ducks, so you were ahead of it. Mike, good deal on the 106. I'm not sure if that's the same 106 you had before. Who knows? Maybe you picked up another one. And Steve, the Cosmos PTO repair. You know, you mentioned the backlash spring. I saw a little note on this R390 that I had lost the spring in the Oldham coupler. It works just fine. I never even noticed a difference. And Bob, on the other T3. Oh, you guys mentioned, and Henry, you're mentioning your big rig. I don't know what the big rig is. It may be the same. I'm not sure which one it is, but you can let me know what the big rig is. Bob on the loop. Yeah. The NDB may be the strongest, but definitely you are the strongest. You are the strongest signal I've ever heard from Montague. So there, that puts you on the list somewhere. And Rich, I ditto on that. The carrier was good, just wasn't that much audio. So with that, and the ART-13 roundup, someone can tell me about that. I take it that next Sunday we're all supposed to dust off the ART-13s. Anyhow, with that, over to Duck Hunting Dave, W6MQI, NU6F.
NU6F, W6MQI. All right, Ron. Yep, next week, big ART-13 shootout. Got mine warming up today. But, yeah, boy, 10 inches of rain. That's a gully washer. I don't know if I've been in that much rain before. I don't know, but and then flying in and seeing going from green, lush green to brown. That's one thing I noticed traveling around the country. You go to some of these states like Indiana and South Dakota and such, and come back here, you land, get in your car and drive not more than 5 minutes out of the airport. The trash on the side of the freeways and the homeless, and you know, California's a dump compared to some of these states. I mean, I'm not saying some of the other states aren't, but you know, like Indiana, the highways and stuff are just spotless. Even in the big city, it's kind of strange. There's no trash. I mean, every once in a while you might see something, but it's clean. Not like here. It's really too bad. The Golden State's not too golden anymore. But anyway, yep, everybody's sounding good, and I agree with Ron. Bob, you're sounding good today. Usually we don't have a real good path, but sounding good. And everybody else sounding good as well. Good morning to Chuck. Good to hear you. Sounds like you might need to get yourself another cup of coffee there. But not a whole lot going on here. I'm still waiting for my national receiver to show up. Got a feeling that's going to be quite the project. I've been reading your website there, Henry, trying to get some pointers. I don't think I'm going to take the chassis down as far as you did. Looked like some of those you actually rewired them. I'm not going to get that far with it, but try and clean it up as best I can anyway. But looking forward to that. That's going to be a nice winter project. And I picked up a digital head for my PRC 515. Boy, did that transform that radio. I know it's not military or anything, but it sure made the radio a lot more user-friendly. So I'm kind of liking it. And what else? I think I mentioned already. I got my TCS working again. It ended up not being the TCS. It was the little cheap little LM386 amplifier I had in the D104. Decided to go belly up, so I was glad to have. That was just something simple for that. And we're still thinking about
antenna setups here. You know, like I said, I got everything off my tower. It looks a little funny with a tower up there with nothing on it. So I'm trying to think of what kind of antennas I'm going to put up, and think about putting up a 40-meter delta loop, and maybe even put an inverted L for 160, but I haven't decided yet. So, and what else? I think that's about it. Yeah, I think that's it. So over to, I know what I was going to say. Steve, yeah, that's going to be fun with that R390, 390A. I had to take my Cosmos PTO apart too and move those windings around a little bit on that inductor. I couldn't get the endpoints to line up, so I had to kind of move the inductor around. Once I did that, it kind of zeroed right in, but it'd be interesting to hear how things progress on that. So, over to Bill, N6BCT, W6MQI.
W6MQI, N6 Bravo, San Antonio. Yeah, we had about 15 degrees, I think, this morning. And it was predicting rain, but I haven't been outside to check it out. So, it's not going to be very much anyway. And I always check it started right now, and maybe a little bit later in the day. Anyway, so that's the story there. Otherwise, everything is doing pretty good. Like I said, I have this problem with my computers and stuff like that. And getting the Tesla fixed, and that's the problem there too. Anyway, so that's the story there. So yeah, I did talk to John W6MIT at about 2 o'clock on the telephone, and he was thinking anybody else would like calling also. That would be nice. Hey, Mike, let me break in there. There was somebody that checked in there. I think it was Robert, but let me verify that. The station that was broke in there, go ahead and identify yourself.
Whiskey 7 Tango Mike, Tom, over.
Okay. W7MKA. Okay, Robert, you're pretty weak, but we'll put you in the number 11 spot. Hopefully conditions will hold up till then. And, well, let me do this, because anticipating that things will change. Let me go ahead and let you make a transmission and then turn it over to Mike, W7MS. So I'll insert you in there after Bill. W7MKA. Go ahead and make a transmission and then turn it over to W7MS. Go ahead, Robert. Well, I guess that maybe I misidentified who that was. Mike, did you copy him?
No, he's Q0.
Okay. Well, Robert, if you're copying, try again a little later. There, it probably won't help, but we'll see if we can pick you up a little later, because you went from Q3 or so to nothing. So go ahead, Mike, W7MS, WA7YBS.
Well, thank you, Henry, WA7YBS, W7MS. And thank you, Bill, for the handoff, and we'll see what Robert's up to, if he can get a signal into northern Nevada. But good reception from all, and to all a good morning. And I was chuckling at Ron's weather report from the Azores. because his 10 inches in several hours equals my annual rainfall this calendar year on my weather station. It's right at 10 inches and a few hundredths. So that goes to tell you between green and brown. There is a reason from green to brown, but them's the breaks. And again, thank you, Henry, because I think Henry is Bad Boys of AM. He's probably member number 11. I think he's been officially indoctrinated. I'm Bad Boys of AM number 10. And he's just kicking my arse on the viewership there. But if you guys want to help me out in the ratings contest here, John did a video of my station back in July. So if you drill down through his numerous net recordings, you can find me. Help me out, guys. it's like TikTok. You know, I get a cut on that advertising revenue, and of course the idea is not. This is all done for the sake of the hobby. It's all good, and John does a great job. I know John enjoys it, and it's strictly it's all for the hobby and fun. So. Good on the Bad Boys of AM, member number 11 there is Net Control. And also, good morning, Chuck. Great to hear you. Sorry you had a few issues, but we all have issues. And we'll see what we can, what kind of conflagration can be created next Sunday morning with all those ART-13s and ATCs all on one frequency. Looking immensely forward to that. Oh, and a comment on my, as I was bad-mouthing my static 636L, I got inspired and realized I'm going to get a black Mark-a-lot and just black out that garish static logo on that CB microphone. So that, I'm sure it's improved the audio response immensely, but at least I don't have to look at that. It's now just a black blob. And comments. Dave, great on, well, I didn't comment on the 6 birds, but I think Ron summed that up. Better than receiving buckshot, but who knows, maybe you were dodging some of those copacetic buckshots headed your direction. And Bill's doing okay, because I'm on the right setup this morning, a sideband receiver, so I could pull him in just fine. Steve is travailing with his R390A experience. It's always fun to hear the pain of an R390A restoration, and then think back to, oh my God, I'm glad I've been there and done that numerous times, and I've been able to 12-step my way out of that R390 addiction. Tom's doing great on the usual stuff. Jerry sounded fantastic with usual great audio. And Rich is still hanging in there at Q5, so good morning to he, but with a great explanation of what he's been up to. And let me see, projects here, working on, and it always cracks me up on these United Kingdom British radios, because they call them Klansmen, which of course is probably referring more to the domestic Scottish, Irish, English version of Klansmen. Whenever you hear Klansmen here in North America, you think of the other guys. But working on a pair of PRC 316s, which is a little special ops radio, runs about 4 watts on AM and CW, and neat little unit. And we've just about got one finished, but I did have to take a few days off with winter preparation, and that's some wood stove maintenance, descale, instant hot water heater, do all that that cool stuff. But I haven't gone up and cleaned the rain gutters yet, because according to those commercials, I will fall off the ladder and die. But I don't think that's quite the case. But you know, that's to be determined. We haven't gotten to that point yet. And a few other summertime projects, but we can cover that maybe on the next round or next week or maybe even next year. But with that, over to Steve, W6SSP, W7MS.
Okay, Mike, very good. Yeah, hey, the GRC 106 sounds really good here today. Conditions are excellent today. I'm hearing just about everybody except Bob. And MKA wasn't hearing either one of you guys. But Yeah, that's how it goes. Anyway, yeah, hey Dave, I wonder, 6 ducks, that's pretty good. I wonder if you have turducken for Thanksgiving, if you know what that is. You don't know, I'll explain it on the next pass. Anyhow, the story on the R390A that I picked up earlier this week off of Craigslist, no less, is, it looked really clean. It's one of those things that, when you come across something like that and it's a good price, you just buy it. You don't really look at it too much. You don't ask too much about the condition. This thing was absolutely spotless. I mean, there was one small scratch on the front panel, not a speck of dust, no hints of corrosion anywhere, and the line cord was missing, and that was about it. And anyway, got the thing on the bench when I got it home, and noticed that a couple of springs were missing off of these are the preload springs on the one of the preloaded gears there. And taking a closer look, I said, "Oh man, one of the gears is on backwards. Uh-oh, here we go." And just about that time, I remembered when the guy was helping me load it in the trunk of the car. He said, "Oh yeah, I did some work on the gearbox." Yeah, well, he sure did. He took everything apart without knowing how to put it back together again. Oh boy, so I've never had to dig this far into a gearbox of an R390A, so it was an experience. I did a lot of research, a lot of reading before I did it, and spent all day yesterday on that, following some directions that Henry pointed me to, which were somewhat useful, but incomplete, and the sequence was incorrect. So I had to do it twice, which is why it took all day. And the other reason it took so long is failing eyesight on my end, so can't blame the instructions completely for that. But anyway, that's all done, it's finished, and the RF deck looks beautiful. So anyway, after I did that, I pulled out the PTO, which was a Cosmos, and right away noticed that the coax was cut, and the coax cable was missing completely. In fact, it wasn't only cut on the outside, it was cut on the inside as well, so I have no idea where it's hooked up. And in the bag of parts, yes, there was a bag of parts included, mostly screws and knobs and things like that. There was that coax, so I need to do a lot more research on the PTO for this thing, Cosmos. I've never worked on a Cosmos PTO. I know they're different, and interesting thing is I took the cover off, which is about as far as I got, and it's got an oven on the inner case, which I don't know if it came that way or not. It's wrapped in electrical tape, whole bunch of black plastic electrical tape. So that's another sign that is not real good. So anyway, a lot more to do, and frankly, after dealing with a slew of national radios, everything from an early HRO to an MC300, most recently a bunch of early Japanese radios, working on a 390 is actually a heck of a lot of fun. Just the quality and the design of everything is at a completely different level. I'm really enjoying myself. Even though it's a lot of work, it's something I really get a kick out of. So anyway, should have it on the air here, not too distant future. Thanks again, Henry, for the springs. It's very helpful. And when they arrive is fine. I'm not going to put the front panel on until I get those parts. Anywho, that's about it from here. It's still raining a little bit, which is really nice. So we'll water the weeds. So we'll send it over to Bob, W6AQU, W6SSP.
Okay, Steve. Thank you. W6SST. Santa Rosa Way, W6 Queen Uncle. Montague. About 5 miles up the road from the Wells Fargo stagecoach stop, which is still there, believe it or not. Okay, well, comments. MS, I don't know, are you testing me or what? You see, I'm not very strong over there. I didn't think the antenna was that sharp. Anyhow, What other comments? Oh. Chuck, you don't sound like Chuck this morning. Maybe you haven't got both peepers open yet or something there. And Rich, your audio is still pretty down. You need to get a real military transmitter. That's what you got to do. A comment backing up on VCT out there. Actually, you're quite strong in here, Bill. And yeah, it would help if I turned on the BFO there. It maybe clarify your audio a little bit, but you're doing better than I think in the past. I have a comment there, Steve, on that 390. Yeah, those gearboxes are a lot of fun. It's amazing that you were able to resolve that so quickly. I have here, sitting on the other bench, a brand new 390A. It was one of the last ones they made. They made 10,000 of them in, 85? Was that what it was, Henry? I found this one from when SK's XYL gave it to somebody that didn't know anything about it, and I talked him out of it. I very seldom use it. It's sitting over here almost by itself on the bench. I should maybe get rid of it, but it's too heavy. Too heavy, even with those handles. But it is brand spanking new, believe it or not. And I have another one, front end only, with all the gears. Someplace, tucked away up in the attic, someplace out in the shop there. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I think I still have it. And along with a couple of panels and knobs. And I've got a box of modules also of the 390 stuff, but just too big to fool with anymore. Alright, enough of those comments. Let's see. I guess I better move it on down and get it right this time. I'm using the correct list, I believe. WA6OPE. W6able Queen Uncle.
Okay, W6AQU is WA6OPE. Very good. 10 inches of rain in 11 hours. You know, if that happened here, all our troubles would be over because everything would wash away. Everything would be gone. Unbelievable. And let's see, Steve, I wonder if you're aware, maybe not, there's been at least one, if not two, really good articles about Cosmos PTO overhaul in electric radio in the past. I certainly don't remember which editions. It's been a while. I would say, I'm not going to say because I don't remember exactly when. Anyway, there's at least one, if not two, articles on Cosmos PTOs, and I think one of the articles covers Cosmos as well. And believe it or not, I think, I'm trying to remember what I took from those articles. The author of those was very well versed in them. And he had a lot of good things to say about the Cosmos PTO. In fact, he had some things to say probably considered blasphemy, but he liked the Cosmos PTO and had some better features than the Collins PTO. How's that? The heavens are shaking. Anyway, I don't know if they ever got a decent index online for electric radio or not, but anyway, you might look for that. It was certainly well worth reading. And there was also an article, there's been a lot of R390 articles on electric radio over the years, and there was one in there where they talked about the gearbox, where somebody very knowledgeable, very familiar with them, pulled the gearbox out, took it off because it was all gunked up with dirt, junk and stuff, and he pulled it all out, took it all apart, cleaned it all up, put it all back together again, and worked great. So anyway, if you're digging into that stuff, and if you can find any kind of an index for ER, or somebody on this crew here might know where that Cosmos, probably Henry might know where that Cosmos PTO article is. It was a good one, from what I remember. And I never got into one. I always avoided it like the plague. But after reading that article at least one time, I thought, well, if I ever have to, this is a good place to start. Okay, well, let's see. That's going to do it for me today. I'm going to say 73. This will be my 73 round. And have fun. Here it comes, Jerry. W6JRY, WA6OPE.
Okay, Tom, WA6OPE in the group W6JRY. Still loud here, everybody. Still coming in. I heard Robert there the first time around, and then it was silence. I think maybe something happened. Wire fell off, power went out, something there, because he just completely disappeared. And he was copyable here. But it's about as weak as I've heard him. Generally, he sounds pretty good. He's not that too far from Bob there, Let's see. I think he's up around Medford. So, of course, Bob's pinning the needle here from Montague. But he's got the T368 to do that with, too. Let's see here. Dave, with your duck hunting. Well, when you get through, you can come up here with that shotgun, and I got a lot of red-headed woodpeckers that have caused me a lot of problems of putting acorns in my gutters and any other place they can stuff them here. I guess getting ready for winter or something. I don't know, but I'm having a very big problem with that. I haven't really solved the problem yet. And projects here, not too much other than just trying to revive some broadcast type receivers that I've had around here for a long time, and some of them I've given to people. Well, one particular one I've just finished up messing with here and got it back going. I've been sitting there for 40 years and had been I'd given it to my grandson that lives up in Montana, and I'm wanting to get rid of some of those things, and so I put it on the bench. It didn't work, so I just had some of the usual things going on. It's an old, well, I say middle old. I think it's 40s, 50s Siemens type RS-111. It's really a nice radio. A friend of mine that was German, come over from Germany, that I worked with, gave it to me back in the 60s when we used to work together. And I'd had it here for a long time. And then my grandson ended up being an exchange student to Germany. He took German in school and learned it pretty good, and was an exchange student and went to Germany and so on. So anyway, I asked him if he wanted. He said yes, but keep it for him. Well, I've kept it long enough. And then when I went to see if it was going to work, well, it had it's got some push buttons around the front of it. And I think it has 3 short wave bands or something. But it's typically German built, really nice, and the thing is in really nice condition. It's called an RS-111. Got the German tubes in it and so on. So anyway, it's back working, and I'm hoping the next time he gets down here, he'll get it out of my way. Let's see. Everybody's still very good copy. Conditions are holding in good here as far as the time and so on goes. So like time, I'm going to say my 73's here, and I'll pass it on down there to Rich, or over to Rich there. Yes, your signal did come up when you got the DX100 retuned there, Rich. It's copying you all okay there. Not as strong as the guys that are around Reno and Carson City area and so on, but good enough copy. So we'll be listening, but this will be my final here. 73s, and I'll say good morning from here from Forest Ranch. KE6 QK and the group W6JRY.
W6JRY. Okay, I'm looking at my modulation meter here. I'm peaking in the red. I don't know if it's that whether I tweaked up a notch there from the last transmission. And I'm talking a little bit closer to the microphone. Yeah, comment, Bob here. I like your audio. You're 10 over 9. There's a lot of QSC here, so you're really between 9 and 10 over. Your receiver is quiet, and your audio is, sounds like probably you. It's not clipped off or compressed down for communication. It sounds really realistic. Very good signal there. I'd like to comment my contact with John AMI. We've got a wheel and a deal going. I have this globe scout. I've gone through it, but I couldn't bring it up. I did all the tracks and all of the problems in there, but I don't have a crystal. AMI is going to solve that problem. I want to find out if the crystal oscillator works. The DFO that I purchased off eBay is still apart on the fence, but as on my last transmission, we have a lot of stuff going on here. We have windows going on, the garden is clearing out, we have stuff going down there. Running another contract and doing the power on the ground. And we're going to get back into that very soon. And probably one day I'll try check in with the globe scout. 65 watts. That'll be a lot of fun. Old parts. I have a lot of junk. I told you I was operating this from my garage because my handset is totally full. There's too much junk back there. There's a boat anchor SF-101, if anyone's interested. 100-pound thing that I don't know, acquired 10 years ago. Never got around to it. It's sitting there, not in great shape. I got HC-110 sitting around in another building. I'm short on the military equipment. You guys are going to convert me here in the future, but I have all the old regular cam equipment. I have my HW-101 station with 200 that I used in the fall of Saigon. I sent 200 or 300 messages through a relay station from Alaska. That was quite a good sign for me, handling all that traffic on Charlie Whiskey. My history in the Navy, I started out as a communications technician. I don't know if you guys know what our job was, but I used 4 R390s over on the Black Sea, and I wasn't, I had 4 networks. I had a monitor in Charlie Whiskey, and they were not USA stations, if you know what I mean. I got thrust into that boot camp because I was a ham, already copying 20 words a minute. So I went into the intercept issue with the National Security Agency, and sat there for 4 years, and later converted over to aviation electronics. And so the 4 R390s I used were near and dear to my heart. I remember the makers of them were different contracts. They had the Cape Hart and the Motorola, and there was other builders of that R390, as I remember. and I used them at the Lone Weber EF station. So it's very interesting to work at as a child. I was like 19 years old, a super ham CW operator. Anyway, signals are good. QSB isn't diving. Everyone's at least a 9 or 10 over. And I didn't hear the Oregon station, Robert, I think Robert. Didn't hear him at all. I don't know if he was in there. But I'll be back next week, guys, and maybe I can get an R390 at some point to play with when I finish this Gulf Scout. That'd be interesting. And I will be clearing out 2 buildings. I'm meeting with John AMI, do some horse trading maybe next week. Thank you for letting me in, guys. The conditions are just excellent. So over to Chuck, K0DWC, and the group, KE6QK. Is my audio better, sir?
Okay, Rich, K6QK, K0DWC. Yeah, Rich, you sound good here. No problem at all. Good signal, good and clean. No noise, no QSB, no nothing. Yeah, you're sounding real good, and that's some very interesting stories that you have there. Very interesting stories. Working traffic on CW and all that, that's really neat. Good job there. But yeah, you're coming in fine. Not a problem. Let's see. 7 threes to you, excuse me, 7 threes to you, Rich, 7 threes to Gary, and 7 threes to Tom. And again, welcome back around. Good to have you back. Good to hear your voice again. And good morning to Robert. Also, I could just barely hear you, but I could tell you were there, but that was about it. But anyway, glad you could be with us this morning, at least for the one little round there. And Bob, you got a great signal in here this morning. My QTH in Dayton, not a problem. You're pounding in here, and I'm on a T17 microphone with the electric element on it too. That might be why I sound different, but that's just what I run with the TCS set. Plus, I don't know. I sound like Froggy on the Little Rascals a little bit too, but. Anyway, microphone change, voice change, so yeah, I probably do sound different. But anyway, Mike, VRC 106 sounds great. Mike, that mic sounds fine to me. I mean, it sounds military to me. No problem. And Dave, congratulations on the digital head for the PRC 515. I remember a while back, Mike schooled me on that deal there. I was kind of under the impression that the digital box was, done here, and it was part of the Collins set. And then Mike, told me that, it's definitely wasn't Collins, and it was an aftermarket thing, which I didn't know. So that was a good piece of information that you gave me there, Mike. But it's good to know that digital head is a lot easier to operate, a little bit more convenient than the original analog type head. So good deal on that. And Henry, I can't remember. I was looking at the QSL cards I've got here, and we have the shoot-out beam for the BC375 and 191, and we had the 13 being the roundup. And I'm just curious, I got to thinking about this, and I meant to ask you the other day when I was on the phone with you. Are we reversing that now, or is it still going to be the roundup for the ART-13 and the shoot-out for the 191 375? So maybe you can comment on that. I've got shootout wrote down, but I looked at my QSL card and it says roundup. But anyway, Let's see. That's all the comments I have for this round, so I'll send it back up to the top to Henry, WA7YES, K0DWC.
Okay, K0DWC, WA7YBS. Let's check and see if Robert can make it this time. Maybe he had a problem, but we'll see if he's still there. W7MKA, make a transmission if you can.
Henry, some information. I had a text from John, and I believe that's W7MTD. It was not Robert W7MS.
That might be why we didn't get an answer. Okay. Well, is there a W7MTD out there that wants to check in? Okay, well, maybe next time. All right. Okay, let's see. Roundup. Yes, the QSL cards, and of course the tradition of the two previous ART-13 get-togethers, they were roundups. And so I'm using the old artwork for the QSL cards. So it will be the ART-13 roundup, but you can call it a shootout if you want. It's just run your ART-13 next Sunday, and we'll see how many we can get on the air. And I'll have to look. I think I still have the multicolored stars. I think if you run one ART-13, we put a red star on your QSL card. If you run two, you get a blue star. If you run three or more, you get a gold star. So, wow. Anyway, yeah, it was a lot of fun. So we're resurrecting this, and we're going to do it from time to time with the ART-13s, and then, of course, the BC-191, BC-375 transmitters. That was a shootout. We did that. And then we had the Behemoth military radio trials, which is my favorite, which was you run the biggest, heaviest, lowest power rig you can find. And doesn't have to be low power, but generally the T3s and the stuff like that, those actually aren't very low power. But at any rate, the Behemoth military radio trials is another one that we do. And so we'll bring those back, but this coming next Sunday will be the ART-13 roundup, and so run as many as you can, and we'll do that. Chuck will be net control. Ron, you were gone, and so yes, I managed to get W6MIT's big rig, the 300-watt homebrew transmitter, and it was over in Yerington, and brought it back over here and got it running on the air. Of course, a lot of it was missing. The audio chain was missing, and so I'm using a Bogan 100-watt PA amplifier. Has a built-in compression and a built-in equalizer in it, so I have some capability of manipulating the audio, and I have sufficient audio drive to run the modulator. So anyway, that's what the big rig is. It's John W6MIT's homebrew transmitter, and so that's when we say the big rig. That's what we're on, and let's see. Yeah, the BABAM. The BABAM is the Bad Boys of AM, BBAM, BABAM. Yeah, I'm number 11, Mike. And I don't know. I'm bowled over by the number of hits that the video's got. So that's good. Anyway. Check out Mike's. Mike's W7MS. His video is there. He's another bad boy. He's not the bad boy. That's one thing about it. The bad boys are the transmitters. They're bad boy transmitters because they're big and powerful. And so we're just the operators. The bad boys are actually the transmitters themselves. So, yes, I did get indoctrinated into that esteemed collection of people that are operators of bad boy transmitters. So, anyway, let's see what else. Dave, on the NC101X8, you'll like it. You probably won't have to rewire it. I did that because the guy that particular one was an NC100XA, and it had a bunch of vinyl insulated wire. Somebody had replaced some rotten wire in it with white and red striped vinyl insulated wire, so I replaced a lot of that, and replaced all of it. But taking the tuning condenser off isn't as hard as you would think. It's pretty easy. It really helps in cleaning those trays that are underneath. And so it's not that bad to do that. So anyway, yes, NC100s and the 101s, the handband versions only, are really nice receivers for the time period, 1939, 1940. Great stuff. So let's see. We don't have Robert. We'll cross that off. Tom, WA6OP, has signed. Jerry, W6JRY, has signed. I wasn't really sure whether Rich had signed or not, but let's go up to the top. And Bob, when you turn it over, try Rich, and if Rich is there, that's great. And if he's not, Chuck will pick it up. NU6F, WA7 YBS 73 round.
Turn down the BC 348. Okay, well, good deal. I get a couple of texts here from Mike, and I'll respond here. Yeah, Mike, if you want to go for lunch today, around about 1 p.m. should work. So we'll see what your schedule is. And yeah, I'm having a rough time getting used to QRN. Yeah, I got some of my typical 75 meter grunge from consumer devices nearby, and I'm on the long wire, and I can't use the loop with the magnetic loop. I cannot use that to try and help null the noise. So I had a almost impossible time copying Bill BCT, and had a rough time with Rich also. They're just right at the mystery noise level that's around here. Thought I'd located it before, but it seems like this stuff just keeps coming up. And the loop, if I ran the T3 into the magnetic loop, I'm sure I would see St. Elmo's fire emanating from the vacuum variable cap up top. So I'm holding off on that. I'm going to have to run another coax here into the shack so I can run those antennas separately, and instead of the remote switch, so I can switch one or the other over to just receive. Anyhow, other than that, good hearing everybody in there. Let's see, and I guess from Dave, when I hear it, sounds like your tower got cleaned off. So the log periodic is back down the ground. I know that's been an ongoing project for the last year and a half or so. So, well, good to get that done. And Mike, I see the beautiful black wrinkle radios. You told me what they are. I still don't know, so I'll have to Google it and find out. But they look really cool and really pristine, and I'm sure they probably work too. Steve, I think, is already signed, but yeah, I feel your pain. Yeah, oh gosh, I can just imagine that. Seeing the PTO oven wrapped in black electrical tape. Wow. I can just imagine one big gooey mess. Bob, okay, on your new old stock R390A, one of the last ones made. Well, you got you have plenty of heavy iron weight. So I'm guessing whenever we have our shootout for biggest radios and most weight per watt, I'm kind of hoping I'm going to give everybody a run for their money with the TDE, but we'll see. And Jerry, I believe, is already signed too, but good hearing that about the AM radio. Fix it up and get rid of it again. All right, guys, good hearing everybody in there, and got lots of stuff that went on the island. Big radio research project on the first SOS, and was it from Flores Island or not? There's still some questions over it. Okay, with that, I'll listen out. Over to you, Dave. W6MQI and U6F.
W6F, W6MQI. Howdy, Ron. Yep, I'm glad to have those antennas down now. I had several times we thought we were going to pull it off, and either I got busy or the guy was going to help me got busy. So we finally got our calendars to match and got her down. So, and the wife is happy too. She doesn't have that big old behemoth up there anymore. She gets kind of worried when the storms come through and the wind's blowing pretty hard. It's all good now. And Henry, yeah, I'm looking forward to working on the receiver. The owner, okay, let's take this with a grain of salt. The owner says it works, but more than likely it doesn't. But one thing I'm worried about, pictures I was looking at, there is a toggle switch for the headphone jack was. So that worries me. That maybe the on-off switch is no good or something. I don't know. I'll find out. And Steve, let's see. I don't know if this isn't all of them, but the R390, 398, right up number, electric radio 395, 394, 393, 392. That's the only ones I got. And that's not all of them. So if my subscription ran out on 395 or something, I don't know. Anyway, I don't have all of them. So I'll maybe look at their site. You might be able to purchase those separately. And what else? Yeah, I think that's about it. I'll have to check out that video. And check out your setup there, Henry. Sounds pretty cool. So with that, I will say 73, and looking forward to next week. And talk to you guys later. Over to Bill. N6BCT, W6MQI, clear.
W6MQI, that's Bravo.
Okay, well, thanks, Bill. And a quick question to Henry. Did Steve sign? If so, it goes to Bob. Is that correct, W7MS?
I must have been asleep. I didn't think he signed. Go ahead.
WA6KKN.
Well, there's Kevin. And I'm sorry, but you're a little bit high in frequency, Henry, and I'm operating, of course, upper sideband receive. I don't have, AM is not AM, but again, not to be repetitive, and everybody can throw rocks at me, but did Steve sign?
I'm still here, guys.
Yeah, I'm showing 600 hertz high. Oh well, let me guess here. See if that's a little closer. I didn't hear that Steve signed. And yes, I did recognize Kevin checking in late as usual. We'll pick you up at the end of the 73 round, Kevin. So yeah, go ahead and try Steve and see what happens. W7MS, WA7YBS.
Okay, my apologies, but yeah, I just listening to the conversation, I wasn't quite sure, even though I hadn't heard you actually cross him out or he signed. But you know, now that Kevin's here, yeah, all is good. WA7YBS, W7MS, and Bill, when you talk to Mr. Svoboda today, tell him that the gang here on 3974 says gives him a big hello. It's always great to hear you and to be updated on John at his relatively new QTH there in Southern Oregon. So again, Mike and Reno, comments. Well, for Dave, I forgot to comment on the PRC 515 QSY machine there, that synthesized aftermarket device, but congratulations on that. I do not own one, but whenever I run across it on eBay, I am severely tempted, so I think it's just a matter of time before I do a buy it now and transfer the money over to Serbia, and then wait to have that medium scale wait time for that device to show up. But good on those comments. Always great to hear that performance reviews. And finally getting that log periodic off the tower. That's been a subject of yours for several years, and also the fact that it's a matter of timing since it's far from a one-man job. So congratulations on the cleanup. And the wife is extremely happy, so that's good. Less stress in the life, or at least lesser stress in the life. And the Cosmos PTOs. That's a great article. I recall that article, and I think the major advantage of the Cosmos is you can do the linearity adjustments external from the using the cam stack and the Collins PTOs, which will literally drive you nuts. Especially if you're, you're not on the factory floor with the factory test jig. It can become quite a challenge. And as far as I was concerned, I challenged that several times in my radio career, and then got to the point where that PTO is good enough, because it's a lot of work. With the Cosmos, it gives you hope. And you've got an eternal amount of adjustment screws there. It can keep you involved, but at least you can essentially do it in the radio, and that's a good one. Which in mind, maybe a question for Henry on his final. I saw a Raytheon branded PTO for an R390A, or was it an R390 on eBay? And I'd never heard of a Raytheon. I was wondering if maybe they had a rebuild contract and stuck their own label on it. But that was a surprise to see a Raytheon branded PTO. No indication of any prime contractor, or no indication on the tag there that it was actually a rebuild operation. But it sure said Raytheon on it, with all the appropriate part number and production number notations on that tag. So I think with that, 7 3s and on for lunch with Ron, and I'm sure Ron will contact me because he's on a schedule and I'm not. But just give me a heads up. And a correction on that call sign. I think it was W7TWD, and name is Tom, not TMD. So, and again, I'm still looking for memory on John's text message. I probably still have it wrong, but them's the breaks. So 7 3s from Reno, and my apologies, Steve, for signing you out. W6SSP, W7MS.
Oh, no problem, Mike. I'm still here, still hanging around. Not much else to do right now. Anyway, I did find just before the night I was on the internet, and I did look at a couple of articles in ER 30 and 31, so after this I'll go pull those out, start reading about Cosmos PTOs. I've been in this Collins PTO a few times. I've been fairly successful, with one major exception. I never could get that thing right. looked fine, but it just didn't. I know it was never within 2 or 3 kc of where it ought to be. So this will be fun. It'll be a new challenge. Challenges are good. So. Anyway, guys, looking forward to the ART-13 roundup next weekend. I won't be on the air with one, but if I'm feeling my oats, I'll hump one over to the next to me on the couch and just be able to read the serial number and manufacturer to the group. So looking forward to that, and pretty interesting about the Bad Boys of AM. Cool, the subgroup. I love it. Anyway, guys, 73 next weekend, and I think it goes over to Bob. I don't think he's on yet. W6AQU, W6SST. If somebody else, go ahead and pick it up.
Very good. Thanks, Steve. W6SST, W6Able Queen Uncle. All right. Well, let's see. I'll make it quick here because we've got a lot of time. Yes, on number 11, I copied that as Tom up there in Old Town, Idaho. W7TMD. Jerry, that's where your 500 went. Was up there to Old Town, Idaho. Let's see. Chuck, okay, you don't have a cold. You're on a carbon mic. That's the difference, and a different transmitter. Doesn't sound like you used to sound there on the 13. Yes, we're gearing up for the ART-13 roundup next week. We have 2 of them so far on the bench fired up. One on an AC supply and one on a dynamotor, and we've got a couple more. I don't know how we're going to get those going. So, with that, we will say 73s. But first, good morning to Kevin. We heard you come in there. 73s from Montague. And Tom, OPE is signed. So, up to Forest Ranch. W6JRY. W6Able Queen Uncle. Good morning.
Okay, Jerry signed. I'm not sure about Rich. Let's see if Rich is there. KE6QK, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm still here. You guys got me very interested. I just got to read the mail. Just thinking, got me thinking, maybe my next winter attack would be storing military gear. I did look on eBay and got sticker shock. I get scared buying off eBay, buying an old mill radio that has been 10 meters underwater for 50 years and trying to restore it and paying $1,000 for it. Really tripped my trigger. But I'll be with you. I'm interested in R390 as I used to use them. Wow. I haven't even seen one since the 60s when I was launch coordinator in Washington, D.C. I had a dozen of them I gave away. I was a controlled screener. But my wife and I were young and poor and living in a trailer. And I just didn't have room for an R390 at the time. And I was up for orders for a wet pack. So I didn't take possible. Anyway, let's see what else we got here. That's about it. Thank you very much for letting me in the mix. And I'll report next week my meeting with John at AMI. That's going to be fun to have an eyeball. And I'll look forward to having eyeballs with all the Northern Nevada guys here listening. Thank you very much. Where am I at here? Chuck, yeah. Chuck in K0DWC, K60K Valley. Check it out.
Okay, Rich. K60K. Very good. DWC. All right, very good. All righty. Let's see. Good morning, Kevin. W6JKN. Better late than never, Kevin. But anyway, I don't have much more to add here either. So, you guys don't forget, dust off the AR-213s and the A2Cs, and I'll be doing the same. Power station's ready to go. I got a little bit I got to jockey around with mine. I got to do some 14 to 28 volt switching out here. But other than that, we'll be pretty much ready to go with two of them anyway. So anyway, get them dusted off, fellas, and we're going to have a good time next week with the ground-up/scoot out. So I'll say my 7-3s. Thank you guys for being there. You guys are the best to make the net what it is, and we appreciate all the support. So with that, we will send it down to Kevin, WA6JK1, in the group. 7-3s, guys. This is K0DWC. Go ahead, Kevin.
Okay, Chuck, thank you very much. I think I forgot to turn on something here. Oh well. Yeah, let me just set it right there. Okay, this is WA6JKN. Good to hear everybody in there this morning. I've been actually listening to you guys since about just a little bit after 8 o'clock. I got tied up reading this article, fascinating article on nuclear tactical strikes. I guess it was a plan put together by General Haig, if you remember General Haig. And apparently that particular plan was not adopted by other countries as a viable method for conducting war and utilizing limited tactical strikes. And it was just absolutely fascinating. And I did not know that North Korea has developed multiple warhead missile systems specifically for limited tactical strikes, nuclear strikes in a war situation. So boy, we sure have come a long way with technology back from the days of the Manhattan Project. Yeah, it seems like everybody's got tactical missiles along with their smartphones. It's just unreal. Well, anyway, enjoyed the conversations about the various subjects, and what was it, the heaviest radio, I think is what I heard, with the lowest power. Man, oh man alive, I wonder which one's going to win on that one. But I guess the T-368 works. I don't know if the KW-1 qualifies. It's a heavy rig, but it's certainly not low power. You know, maybe I could put it in the tune position. How about that? Maybe that might make it qualify. And of course, the ART-13 Roundup, the Gold Star. I bet you Bob is going to get the Gold Star. He's going to get enough ART-13s on the air
to get that gold star. So, Mike, you got a crushing signal as always, and Henry, congratulations on becoming the latest ham radio movie star with your YouTube video and your induction into the B-BAM. That kind of sounds funny, huh? B-BAM. But yeah, the Bad Boys. Now I wonder if you guys got your certificates. I'm looking at a certificate right now for the Bad Boys, and number 7. I know John's number 1. I'm 007. Anyway, that's kind of cool. All right, nothing else to add here other than it's good to hear everybody this morning. Sorry I didn't check in earlier. I just got interested in this article because I remember General Haig, and I remember discussions at the Defense Acquisition University when they were talking about limited nuclear strikes as a viable tactical method or non-viable tactical method. All right, so yeah, that was really something. I guess I'm the last one, KLN Charlie. Well, that's okay. Appreciate getting in here. Take care, everybody. And I'm not sure who net control is. I think it's Henry or Chuck. I could never get that straight, but that's okay. I was distracted by the article that I was reading. WA6JKN. Have a blessed week.
Okay. WA6JKN, WA7YBS. All right. One note on Raytheon PTOs for R390As. I have a Raytheon in my Imperial R390A. Those are rebuilds, and I believe they're Cosmos PTOs that just, Raytheon did something to them. I don't know what, but whatever they did was pretty good because, I tested this one labeled with the Raytheon, and it aligned right up. I think I got it down to like 500 cycle endpoint errors, so it was a pretty good one. Whatever they did a good job. So they're rebuilds of Cosmoses. With that, we'll say 73. Thanks everybody for checking in. It's appreciated. Chuck will be net control next week, and also it will be the ART-13 roundup, so get your ART-13s ready, and we'll see how many we can get on the air. 73 all around, and everybody have a good week. This is WA7YBS, and I'll be signing off, closing the Vintage Military Radio Net. 73.